This meeting is being recorded.
For Chapter 10, Problem 10, we're asked to draw a mechanism for some reactions listed in this question. So I believe there's 4 parts or so, or maybe even more. But we're going to look at the reaction listed in A here, which is the chlorination of methylene chloride. And they give you the formula, CH2Cl2, to produce chloroform, which is CHCl3. So we're going to see this radical mechanism will have 3 distinct steps, and then within each of these distinct stages or distinct steps, we have specific, what's the word I'm looking for? Specific reactions that we're going to title them, or specific titles of reactions. So this first reaction, we're going to see what's called homolytic bond cleavage. And we see our dichloro, right, our dichlorine molecule here. So each of these will receive one of the electrons, right? We'll draw a fishhook arrow to each of these chlorines. And you can notice here that light is required, or energy of some sort is required, either heat or light, to break that bond homolytically. And then each of these chlorines now has become a radical with a lone electron. That is the darkest electron shown there. So that's our homolytic bond cleavage in our initiation step. Next, we're going to see the stage of propagation, and there are actually 2 distinct steps within this stage. So in propagation, the first thing that we'll see is hydrogen abstraction. So we have our CH2Cl2 molecule here, and that radical chlorine is here. So what happens in this step is that this CH bond, one of the electrons is moved in that direction, the other electron will move in this direction here, actually all the way over here, to form a bond with this electron. So what we see is the 2 electrons that have moved have formed this HCl bond here, and we have created a radical with the other electron that has moved. So 3 fishhook arrows for this step here, 2 with the first, the initiation process. And then we see during our second propagation step, this is called the halogen abstraction step. So now we have our radical over here. We have our chlorine, our Cl2 here. And what happens at this point is one of these electrons grabs one of these electrons here, or rather, I'm sorry, this bond, one of these electrons from the bond joins up with this electron here. And at the same time, the other electron from the bond will jump onto that chlorine here. That's supposed to be chlorine, not carbon. So what results is this new bond formation here and this new radical chlorine that is created. Our last step is the termination step, and this is done by a coupling reaction. So we see here that the radical that was involved in our halogen extraction, this radical comes back, and we have that radical combining with this radical here, and that's called coupling. So we only have 2 curved arrows in this step. And then this terminates the reaction from happening because there's no longer a radical to begin the process.